What is up, guys? Rick Smackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we are going to be talking about exotic weapon catalysts in Destiny 2. Now, Shadowkeep actually added some new ones. For the Cerberus +1, it now comes with an alternate fire mode, allowing you to switch it to a tighter spread, slower shooting mode, and the Ace of Spades also improved its Firefly effect. So that's all great news, but there are so many exotic weapons in the game that have yet to be given exotic catalysts. But at the same time, Shadowkeep added 2, it actually added one more to the Destiny 2 API, the weapon database, and that was a new catalyst for the two-tailed fox. Previously, this didn't exist. So in this video, I thought it would be fun to go over this newly unveiled exotic catalyst because it does actually say how it affects the weapon as well as the objectives required to unlock it, and go over all of the other exotic weapons in the game that do have their catalysts and what they do listed in the API. And so, let's get started. But first, if you guys are subscribed, thank you so much. But unfortunately, in 2019, that does almost nothing. If you want YouTube to even act like my channel exists, you gotta ring that bell. It's the only way you'll be notified of new uploads, but I digress. Let's start here again with the two-tailed fox by taking a quick look at what this weapon does. So it has the exotic intrinsic perk Twin Tails, shoots 2 rockets, one void and one solar, that can track onto the same target. It also has another unique perk called Play with Your Prey. The void rocket suppresses enemies. The solar rocket causes damage over time. Now, this newly listed exotic catalyst says that it will increase the reload speed of this weapon by 30 and the weapon size by 10. Now, what is weapon size? Well, some have speculated that that is the magazine size, and if that's the case, that means it'll shoot a 3rd rocket, and that would make a lot of sense to shoot 1 void rocket, 1 solar rocket, and now with the catalyst, an arc rocket that perhaps stuns enemies. That would be so cool and give this weapon a whole new lease on life. But it is possible that weapon size just means reserves. But massively increasing the reload speed and giving this weapon more reserves is actually not bad, especially since the removal of auto reloading and reload speed matters so much more now. But moving on from there, let's go over the other weapons that have revealed exotic catalysts. Starting with the kinetic weapons here, we firstly have the Malfeasance exotic hand cannon. This has the exotic intrinsic perk Explosive Shadow. Shoots tainted slugs that burrow into the enemy. Stacking enough slugs causes them all to explode. It also has another unique perk, Taken Predator. Bonus damage against taken enemies and Gambit invaders. So what does this exotic catalyst do? Well, it's going to give a range bonus of +20, and for a hand cannon, especially a 180 archetype hand cannon, that matters quite a bit, especially in PvP. If this catalyst is introduced, like, the Malfeasance is going to be one of the favorite PvP weapons going forward. Like, that is pretty darn good, especially because you can stack up those slugs, and if they all explode, they'll pretty much insta-kill your enemy, and they work in a sense that if someone is using something that lets them heal, your slugs will still stack up until they all explode, likely netting you that kill. Now, to get this exotic catalyst, you're going to have to defeat 500 enemies with the Malfeasance. Next up, we have the Thorn exotic hand cannon. Its intrinsic perk is Mark of the Devourer. Rounds pierce targets and deal damage over time. Kills with this weapon leave behind remnants, and that combines with the second unique perk, Soul Devourer. Absorbing a remnant strengthens Mark of the Devourer and partially refills the magazine. Now, this exotic catalyst is yet again going to require 500 kills with the Thorn, but it apparently provides a +20 boost to range and a +30 boost to stability, and that is absolutely nutty. The Thorn is already one of the more commonly used PvP weapons, especially in the sweatier playlists like Comp. Giving it +20 range would make this arguably the best exotic hand cannon in the game. So it's a good time to mention that these exotic catalysts, although it gives us a great idea of what's going to be coming in the future, they're not set in stone. And if Bungie does release that as is, however, oh my goodness, the Thorn is going to be good. Moving on from there, we have the Last Word exotic hand cannon. This has the exotic intrinsic perk Fan Fire. This weapon can be fired quickly and continuously, faster reload, and increase accuracy on successive hip-fire damage. Now for this weapon, there actually isn't a stat increasing catalyst. Instead, we have a unique perk called High Noon listed. Readying this weapon grants a brief period of bonus precision damage, and that'll likely be what is introduced with the catalyst. So you draw out your High Noon, and as soon as you switch to it for a brief time, you'll get that extra damage, and that is a deadly combo because that's usually how the Last Word is used. People are using a sniper rifle or something else, and then if someone pushes up on them, they switch their Last Word to dispatch that enemy in those closer ranges. And so a perk like High Noon would be phenomenal for this gun. Moving on to the energy weapons, firstly we have the Lord of Wolves. Its intrinsic perk is Shrapnel Launcher, fires a powerful short-range burst of solar damage. Now this is combined with another unique perk, Release the Wolves. Hold reload to swap to a longer, more powerful burst. Now this exotic catalyst is going to require 500 enemies defeated, and it provides a magazine bonus of 40. So you're starting with 30 magazine size, you could potentially go up to 60, 50. That is pretty darn insane. By the way, plus 40 isn't literally 40 more rounds, it's a plus 40 size. It doesn't matter, but increasing the magazine size substantially is a big deal, especially with this weapon. Actually, if you release the Wolves, the Lord of Wolves is one of the highest damaging weapons in the entire game right now. And so that exotic catalyst will do nothing but increase that. Next up, we have the Trinity Ghoul exotic bow. Its intrinsic perk is Split Electron. Fires an arrow that splits when released. Aiming down sights and fully drawing the bow both decrease the spread. This is combined with another unique perk, Lightning Rod. Precision kills grant the next shot chain lightning capabilities. This is actually one of the more fun and surprisingly effective weapons to use against groups of lower level adds. Now for the catalyst, 500 enemies defeated as usual, and it's going to increase the charge time or improve the charge time by 30. Now that is a very big deal. The draw time is definitely the biggest negative for this weapon. Improving that will basically make this weapon substantially better, could even be justified to be used in a PvP scenario with a better charge time, or draw time I should say, so that is a big deal. Moving on, we have the Wavesplitter exotic trace rifle. This used to be a PlayStation exclusive, but with Shadowkeep, now everyone has access to it. Its intrinsic perk is Harmonic Laser. Laser damage has 3 power levels that oscillate when the trigger is held down. It's combined with another unique perk, Supercharged Battery. Collecting an orb of light grants a short period of maximum power that starts with an automatic reload. For the catalyst, 500 enemies defeated, and you are going to get a range stat bonus of plus 10, which isn't nothing, and a weapon size bonus of plus 30. Again, if that's reserves, that's already phenomenal. More reserves is fantastic. If that's magazine size, that's great as well. But again, because magazine size is usually specifically said, weapon size is likely just reserves. Moving on from there, we have the power weapons, and first off, we have the Black Talon exotic sword. Its unique perk is Crow's Wings. Press heavy attack to fire off a projectile cross combo. Essentially, it's a sword that makes you shoot the Dawnblade attacks. It's pretty phenomenal. Now, for this exotic catalyst, 500 kills, and it's going to increase the magazine by 40. Now, it's a sword. It only has one magazine, which is the total ammo, so that is just going to be an overall ammo increase, and that is a big deal with any sort of, well, weapon in the game, but with the sword specifically, because, you know, unlike a lot of other weapons that need to reload, swords don't. So an increase to your reserve ammo like this is just going to increase the overall damage output of this weapon, and that is great. Next up, we have the 1000 Voices Exotic Fusion Rifle. This is the unique raid exotic from the Last Wish raid. Its intrinsic perk is Ahamkara's Eye. Charging this weapon unleashes a giant continuous beam of death. This is combined with unforeseen repercussions. This weapon's beam superheats its targets upon impact, causing delayed explosions. So, what does the exotic catalyst do? Well, 350 enemies defeated to get it, and it's going to provide a stability bonus of plus 30 and a weapon size bonus of plus 20. So again, that's either magazine or reserves. Either one is great, especially with a heavy weapon that's doing this much damage. In fact, funny enough, the 1000 Voices is kind of known as a pretty darn good DPS weapon, but its reserves are not great. Like, often you're just going to get the 4 rounds of the magazine and then 3, maybe 4 extra rounds, and that is it. So increasing its reserves is a big deal, actually. And moving on, the last weapon we're going over today is the Queenbreaker Exotic Linear Fusion Rifle. It has the unique intrinsic perk Wire Rifle. Fires a long-range precision arc bolt that blinds enemies on hit. Now it has 2 unique choices for scopes. Firstly, marksman sights, long-range sights with slower charge time and greater damage. Displays ammo and charge levels. Or you could choose combat sights, low zoom sights with faster charge time and handling, displays ability energy. Its exotic catalyst is going to require 500 kills, and it's going to increase the range by plus 20, which actually does matter, especially if you're using combat sights. So it's going to let you use those more aggressive combat sights and still peg enemies from further ranges. And the catalyst is going to increase aim assist by 20. As if the aim assist of the Queenbreaker couldn't get any higher, the catalyst is apparently going to increase it even more so. The Queenbreaker is already one of the better weapons you can use, especially for a period of time. It definitely was in Gambit. As an invader, you can just peg people with this gun. It's very effective, and although it got a little bit of a nerf because it was so darn effective, the catalyst could put it back right into contention as one of the best weapons to use for invaders. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this interesting. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.